what I really want to tell you about, and I mentioned, is finances determines a lot of your issues. And reliance on federal money determines it. One of my favorite deals is there was a song called "I Can't Drive 55." Anybody remember that? Sammy Hagar had a song back in the 80s. And I think most of the words are "I can't drive 55" over and over again. That's pretty much it. So it's catchy, but it is repetitive. I think his song went to number 9 that year. I think it was 84. But what people don't know so much of is that he wrote that song because he'd been overseas, came back after the feds had passed a national 55-mile-an-hour speed limit law, and he was surprised with everybody hated 55. You got on the freeway here, it's 55, and you just never got to Fort Smith or to Memphis. But I think that's why so many people stopped off and got barbecue and pies and stuff on the way to Memphis. It's so slow to go through there. So the federal government didn't say everybody ran 55 miles an hour. Here's how they did it. They said, we're not going to make you do it. No, we're not mean like that. But if you don't do it, we're taking your money away for highways. The highway money gets used over and over again. And some of these things are actually good. I want to mention two that I actually think are good things. But I want to tell you about them because there's examples of how the federal government wants to give you money, add another requirement, add another requirement. The feds came back and said, we're going to take some of your money back if you don't raise your drinking age to 21. Well, Arkansas was already 21, no problem here. Tennessee had to change theirs. I think that's a good thing. I don't like them doing it that way. Then they came back and said, well, your limit for DWI, we're going to lower, we want you to lower that. You don't have to do it, but we're going to take your money away if you don't. Again, another good thing, I could save lives there. But it's one of those things where they keep changing the rules. Oh, by the way, the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, the reason they did it was some genius in Washington, D.C. said, you know, if we lower the speed limit, we're going to save all kinds of gas because the engines are going to be more efficient at 55 miles an hour, and we're going to save lives. Well, they didn't save money, they didn't save any gas, and they didn't save any lives, statistically. So we never know what they're going to give us. Well, one of those things that they gave us was this private option. First, they wanted just to force us to have it. The court said we couldn't do it. And of course, all the legislators said, it's my money, I want it now. So we took the free federal money, and it's just like giving somebody drugs. Once you get them hooked on the money, you're not going to get them off. And I will say, I'm not to be critical of a lot of federal funds, the way things happen, how hard it is for us to deal with the issues from that. But federal funds do fantastic things for states. It's just the federal government loves to use those funds to make us jump through all kinds of crazy hoops. Anybody ever heard of a thing called Common Core? Well, for those of you that are fighting Common Core, you need to think of the example of Indiana. You know, I think it's Oklahoma too. Indiana got rid of their Common Core. And it's like the next day they get a letter from the federal government. Greetings, we're here to help, and we just want to let you know that since you've gotten rid of the Common Core, you have to adopt standards that are equal to or greater than Common Core, and we're going to tell you whether we think they're equal to or greater than Common Core. And they were very nice to the state. They said, you know, you don't have to do this, but we're going to take away your No Child Left Behind money if you don't. So we're not going to force you to do that. And by the way, we'll give you a year waiver. Another state, and I want to say it's Oklahoma, I can't say for sure it was it. They came along and they didn't give them a year. They said, you know, you're out of compliance, good luck getting back in compliance with No Child Left Behind. And speaking of No Child Left Behind, there was an article last July that said Arkansas was applying for a waiver. Again this year, they've been applying for waivers because we don't meet the requirements of No Child Left Behind. We've got to jump through some more hoops. Constantly get that money. This is a small one, but it has some things that just frustrate me. School lunches. There are pictures all over the internet. Sometimes they show them on TV. There's pictures of these kids' school lunches that they need to get smaller plates because they're so small, so few things on there. And if you got a kid that's especially growing spurt or they're doing athletics, it's not going to be enough food for them. So we've got all these pictures of this stuff. Why are we not jumping up and down and saying we want to feed these kids a better meal? Federal funds. The money's coming from the feds. If you want the money, you do what they say, and it's enough money that you're going to do what they say. You may have seen some of these headlines. There was one school that for 4 years had this pink cookie that everybody loved. And not every school cafeteria can say that there's something that kids go away and say, boy, we always enjoyed that. They said, the cookie's got too much sugar in it, we can't serve it anymore. It's gone for 4 years. The PTA said, we love to bake. We're homemakers, and we love to bake and stuff. We have these bake sales. And they said, no, your cookies have got too much sugar in them. You can't sell them anymore. That's the kind of control this federal government desires to have over everything they do through the blackmail funds. Anybody ever heard of Hobby Lobby? Surely not. Hobby Lobby went to the Supreme Court and said, our religious convictions, the owners said, our religious convictions say that life begins at conception. Anything that interferes with that's abortion, we think that's killing, we think that's wrong. They fought against certain contraceptives. Hobby Lobby provides all kinds of contraceptive coverage in their plans, but there are certain things that basically are called Plan B drugs that this is my science lecture here, once an egg is fertilized, Plan B keeps it from attaching to the wall, and it kills that fertilized egg. Is that abortion? Is that a person or not? Let's not say it's a person. Hobby Lobby was able to get a religious exemption, but you can't have that exemption the way you pay your state funds into Medicaid. Medicaid provides coverage for Plan B drugs. Arkansas at one point passed a very, very tough constitutional amendment on abortion. The feds came back and said, well, this conflicts with Medicaid, and so you can't enforce that. The private option, which we did not have to pass, provides coverage for Plan B drugs. So money is controlling your policies, things that you may morally object to, that you're having to do. Now, let me also say that it was pointed out to me that the state, through its insurance policies to state employees and to teachers, it also provides some of the Plan B drugs. That's something that actually could be done about. But actually, any of this could be something done about if you were willing to take the hit on the money. So